What's up, everybody? It's Jonathan Mathis, the sports judge. You guys know what time it is. It is time for another episode of Speaking with Judgment, hosted by the one and only, the sports judge. And I am joined once again by my good friend and my partner in crime, Trey. Trey, I just had a Warriors fan tell me to get a life. Can you believe that? I just had a Warriors fan tell me I post every 2 minutes and he tells me to get a life. You know what? How about you get a life, my friend? Because you know what? The Lakers are up 3-1. I post a lot because this is what I do. I talk about sports. So if you don't like it, hey, you can get off my page. I just wanted to throw that out there before we get started. But how are you doing tonight, Trey?
Man, I'm doing well. I'm doing well, Jonathan. Just watched a great game. Watched a great first game as well. Heat took a 3-1 lead over the Knicks. I know we're gonna talk about that a little bit later on, but I'm doing real good tonight on this beautiful Monday night, man.
It's beautiful in Cincinnati. I see. That's where you're at, right? Since Cincy.
Yeah, I'm in Cincy. Yeah, yep, I'm in
Yeah,
Cincy.
yeah, it's beautiful. I know it rains a lot there. Unlike here, we hardly ever see rain, but we got a lot of rain in our forecast this year. I'm just happy that we finally got some sunny skies. But let's get right into it. Let's talk about this Laker game because what I saw tonight from the Lakers was a lot different than what I seen in prior games. And you saw Lonnie Walker, man. He was sensational. Lonnie Walker, I think, was the difference in this game. Had it not been for Lonnie Walker, I don't think the Lakers would be um, um, where they are right now. I don't think they'll be up 3-1 in this series. The Lakers take a commanding 3-1 lead. All they need is one more. They're one win away from immoral. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, Immortality. There you go. That's the word
Yeah,
I'm trying to find. I'm struggling to spit it out, but you know what I mean. Um, they're one win away from going to the Western Conference Finals, and I mean, if I told you, I mean, if you told me, let's just say, if you told me that the Lakers were one win away from the Western Conference Finals, I wouldn't believe you because the Lakers have had an up and down year. It's been an emotional roller coaster ride for the Lakers. And the Lakers, quite honestly, they weren't even supposed to be here. So it's an incredible turnaround for a team that at one point in the season looked like a complete dumpster fire. They were in total disarray. This was a team that looked like they were going to suffocate and not find their way back in the playoff picture. They did that. They made a trade, they made some moves, and look where they are. They're one win away from going back to the Western Conference Finals. Look, Trey, we're talking about the Lakers about to knock off the Golden State Warriors.
yeah.
We're talking about a Laker team that's on the verge of dethrowing the defending champions.
Yeah, and you got to bear with me a little bit tonight, Jonathan. It's allergy season out here in Cincinnati, so my allergies acting up a little bit. But I got to be honest, Jonathan. I just watched that entire game, start to finish. I watched that fourth quarter where Lonnie Walker scored 15 points, shot 6 of 9 from the floor. Jonathan, I fell out my chair probably 4 times in that fourth quarter. Like I couldn't believe what I was just watching when I was just watching this game. Like, like I thought the Warriors was going to show that championship pedigree, and I thought in the fourth quarter, Steph was going to be the best player on the floor, and the Warriors were going to respond in typical Warriors fashion, like they always do when we count the Warriors out. And in the fourth quarter, Jonathan, it wasn't Anthony Davis. It wasn't LeBron. It wasn't Austin Reeves. It was Lonnie Walker off the bench. And I kept thinking, like, okay, force Lonnie Walker to beat you. Try to, like they kept running the pick and roll with LeBron, and Lonnie Walker kept setting the pick. And I'm thinking, force Lonnie Walker to keep having to hit shots. And Jonathan, he was the difference in game 4, and he's the reason why the Lakers were able to escape with this win tonight and be in a position to close out the Warriors come, I think it'd be what, Thursday night it'd be Wednesday night. Wednesday night in Golden State. So all the credit in the world to Lonnie. Yeah, it'll be every other day. They playing every other day, but all the credit in the world to Lonnie Walker. He was the X factor tonight for the Lakers getting this dub.
Man, and we got some commenters on here already. Bruce Smith is watching the show. He says Lake Show. We got Trey in the house. Riggs is watching. Let's go Lake Show in 6. He also says this series is over. And I agree. I think this was a pivotal game for both teams. I felt like this was the game that would dictate the outcome of the series. Whoever won this game tonight would have most likely pulled away and secured a serious win. They would have clinched the series. I think this was the game that would have decided that. And I think this is a game that decided that for the Lakers. So I think this series is over. We also got my good friend watching. He says, how about Miami? We'll talk a little bit about Miami later. We got a great show for you guys. Let's go Heat. My good friend Melvin says he's in the house as well. Lakers Heat rematch in the finals. I like Boston. But I mean, I know, look, I know that there's a lot of you guys who are Heat fans as well, and the Heat might have a lot to say as well, but we'll get into the Heat a little bit more later. But man, the Lakers, I can't believe it. I can't believe we're sitting here saying the Lakers are one win away from a trip to the Western Conference Finals. I just can't believe it. And people could whine and say that the officials have helped the Lakers get to where they are. I'm not gonna blame the officials for the Warriors' flaws. I'm not gonna sit here and do that. Yeah, that's not how I am. I mean, you could blame it on technicality if you want to, but I'm not gonna do that. I think it's official. I think the Lakers are definitely moving on. I think the Lakers have definitely secured their spot in the Western Conference Finals. I think it's going to be a great one. This is a team months ago that we were laughing at. I counted out this Lakers team. I didn't have any hope for this Lakers team because earlier in the season, they looked lifeless. They looked helpless. They looked hopeless. And I mean, I was ready to put this team out of its misery. Well, this team has come out of nowhere and they're clicking on all cylinders. And it feels like a different player shows up every night. Who was it in the last game that showed up? Tonight it was Lonnie Walker. Yeah. And that just shows you how much depth that the Lakers have. That just shows you how much they have, how much depth they have and how deep of a team they are. Patrick says, I don't want to get off topic here, but he says, think we owe James Harden an apology. We talked a little bit about James Harden last night, and yes, he balled out. We got Damon in the house. If I said his name correctly, go Lakers. He says go Lakers. Jonathan. He get on my case when I start going at it with LeBron. When I start ripping LeBron, man, he got a lot to say. But he's a good dude.
I need to say something real quick tonight. I got to say it. It's something I've been trying to avoid having to say. I was praying that Steph Curry and Klay Thompson would play great tonight, and I would be able to avoid having to say what I'm about to say. I owe LeBron James, Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell, Darwin Ham, Rob Pelinka, Snoop Dogg, Jack Nicholson, I owe Laker Nation an apology counted the Lakers out. I'll be the first to tell you, Jonathan. I counted the Lakers out, and I said that the Lakers were not championship contenders coming into the playoffs, and they have proved me to be wrong. I was wrong about the Lakers. So here's my apology to LeBron, AD, D'Lo, Darvin Ham, the entire Lakers organization and Laker Nation, and specifically Snoop, Jack Nicholson, all the diehard Laker fans, you, anybody on this live right now who's a Laker fan. I apologize. I was wrong. I got this completely wrong. I was praying Steph Curry would have been able to perform well. He played well tonight, but he didn't play well down the stretch to me. I was praying that the Warriors' pedigree, Jonathan, and their championship DNA would have been able to offset the Lakers and their strength down in the low post and how much more size that they have than the Warriors, and that was not the case. So, all Laker Nation an apology. Lakers are contenders, and they are one win away from the Western Conference Finals.
And Trey just left a comment. He said D'Lo showed up in Game 3. That's right. That was the star of the night in Game 3. It was D'Lo. But yes, to get to your point, absolutely, man, absolutely. I mean, look, the Lakers are title contenders.
My apology, co-host. Jonathan, did you take my apology, man? I was wrong, man.
I accept your apology, but hey, I was feeling the same way. I was feeling the same way about the Lakers. I had my doubts about the Los Angeles Lakers. I didn't think they were a serious contender. At one point, when you watch this Laker team, this team was a laughing stock. They were all over the place. They were out of sync. They were so disoriented. They were a complete mess. Like I said, they turned things around.
They did. And what it is, Jonathan, is coming into the playoffs. I remember the Lakers struggled in the play-in game. They struggled with the Timberwolves. You know, that was a close game. And so for me, coming into the playoffs, I looked at teams like the Warriors, the Celtics. I looked at those type of teams as being teams that the Lakers would struggle with because I didn't feel like the Lakers had an extra gear that they can get to offensively. I knew how great they were defensively, Jonathan. I want you to understand what I'm saying. Like, defensively, I knew they were good. They had Anthony Davis. They had LeBron James. They had Jared Vanderbilt. So I knew defensively that they were a much, much better basketball team after the trading deadline compared to what they were before the trading deadline. I just didn't believe in their offense. And so far in these playoffs, they have gotten timely contributions from players, that's off the bench, that's in the starting lineup as well. They've gotten contributions from Austin Reeves. They've gotten contributions from Lonnie Walker, contributions from D'Angelo Russell. So the Lakers have put themselves in a position to where they are on the brink of punching their ticket to the Western Conference Finals. And I was 100% wrong about the Lakers. I never believed that they had that extra gear that they can get to, and they've proven me to be wrong. And they are a true, serious contender for the NBA championship this season. And tonight, it's crazy because when you look at the stats tonight, Jonathan, the Warriors, they made 12 threes. The Lakers made 6 threes. The Warriors had 52 points in the paint. The Lakers only had 46 points in the paint. If you look at those two stats specifically, and if you told me before the game, the Warriors are going to shoot better from three than the Lakers, and the Warriors are going to score more in the paint than the Lakers, I would have said, and you probably would have said, the Warriors are going to win Game 4. But it didn't happen because Lonnie Walker happened in the fourth quarter, and he was the difference maker.
He was absolutely a difference maker. You know what? With D'Angelo Russell shooting 1 for 10, I think that was a blessing in disguise. The
Yeah,
reason I say that is because the Lakers coach, Darvin Ham, decided to ride the hot hand with Walker.
yeah,
If D'Angelo Russell didn't struggle mightily like he did tonight, there's a chance we wouldn't see much of Walker. I think Walker has asserted himself as one of those role players who can come off the bench and give the Lakers a spark, that as we saw tonight.
yeah,
He ignited the offense in the fourth quarter. He went off in the fourth quarter. He sparked the fourth quarter rally. He was part of the Lakers turning things around in that fourth quarter.
he was.
You
He was.
know, and he scored all 15 of his points in the fourth quarter. Lonnie Walker set a playoff career high with 15 points, all coming in the fourth quarter on a solid 6 of 9 shooting.
Yeah,
I mean, he was damn near perfect. He was flirting with perfection from what we
yes,
saw and how he was playing. And he helped keep the Lakers sputtering offense, because the offense was sputtering.
it
He
was.
helped sputtering offense alive. And I even went on Twitter and said, he has given this offense some life. They needed a spark, and they got it from him. He nearly outscored Golden State 17 fourth quarter points by himself.
Yeah.
He was just remarkable. And Ham's decision to reinsert Walker into the rotation proved to be a serious shifting adjustment. We saw it. It worked. It was a great move by the Los Angeles Lakers. I like it. And that is why the Lakers are now one win away from returning to the Western Conference Finals.
And Jonathan, it's crazy because we talk about how Anthony Davis, he struggles in even games. Like he for whatever reason, look at the playoffs. Anthony Davis plays well in odd games, but he doesn't play well in even games. So he played well in games 1 and game 3, but struggled in game 2 of this series. Same thing in the Memphis series. So I expected Anthony Davis to have a below average performance, but he came out in the first half and had 19 points. In the second half, AD was a complete no-show offensively. He only had 4 points in the second half, Jonathan. So Walker and his contribution in this game was very, very timely. It was perfect timing for the Lakers, and it was just what the doctor ordered for the Los Angeles Lakers in the fourth quarter of game 4. But I gotta look at the other side as well, Jonathan. I'm looking at Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole was a complete no-show in game 4. He was a complete no-show. The man he had as many points, Jonathan, as me and you tonight. He had 0 points, shot 0 of 4 from the floor. He was pathetic tonight. He should be ashamed to show his face tomorrow in San Francisco. That's how bad Jordan Poole was tonight. He was awful. And the Warriors, they paid Jordan Poole in the offseason, and you can make a legitimate argument that maybe the Warriors paid Jordan Poole maybe too fast and a little bit too much money, because he has not performed well in the postseason. And I thought he was the reason why the Warriors lost tonight. Klay Thompson only had 9 points. You got to have more from Klay Thompson in a pivotal game 4. Shot 3 of 11 from the floor. You expect more from Klay Thompson. So I thought Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole specifically were the reasons why the Warriors lost. I thought Steph Curry showed up. He played sensational, especially in the first 3 quarters. He dropped 31 points, and he was keeping the Warriors in this game. But Jordan Poole was a complete no-show, and Klay Thompson was inefficient tonight. And that's the reason why the Warriors face a 3-1 deficit in this series.
Damon says Lakers in 5. I agree now. I think the Lakers will shut the door. I think the Lakers will close it out.
Wait, Jonathan, hold on. So y'all think the Lakers going to win game 5?
Now I do. I have a
Wow.
sense of belief that they will win game 5. I think this was a game that the Warriors needed to win. Because now you think about it, the pressure is now on the Warriors to win.
I agree, but I think this is similar to the Memphis series, Jonathan. Remember in the Memphis series, Lakers went to Memphis and they didn't play well in game 5. LeBron was a complete no-show because they were ready for game 6 back in LA. I think the Warriors win game 5 and get this thing back to LA for an important game 6. I think the Lakers close out the Warriors in 6, but I can't see Steph and Clay allowing LeBron and AD to roll into the Chase Center and sending them home on summer vacation in game 5. I think we're gonna have a game 6 in this series.
It could go 6. But I wanted to respond to what you just said moments ago about Jordan Poole. There's simply no way to justify the Warriors signing the Warriors signing of a Jordan Poole who only had one good postseason. I mean, look, he put his stamp on last year's postseason. He was simply legendary in some of those games. And I
Yeah,
think the Warriors moved too quickly in making sure he secured a bag
yeah,
because of one postseason. I mean, he was remarkable. He was remarkable. I don't think if he didn't have the postseason that he had a year ago, the Warriors would have won that championship.
yeah.
I don't think they would have won that championship. But his performance this year does not justify the paycheck. It
It
just
does.
doesn't.
It doesn't
He
at
hasn't
all.
played well. He plays reckless basketball. He's reckless. He attempts any shot. He thinks he's Steph Curry. He pretends to be somebody he's not. And I
Exactly.
think that has hurt the Warriors more than it has helped them. It has done more harm to the Warriors.
I think in the second half, Jonathan, I don't even. I think Steve Kerr just completely went away from him. Like I don't think he even played much in the second half, if at all. He had Moody out there, and he also had Gary Payton as well. I don't even think Steve Kerr trusts Jordan Poole at this point because he's just been absolutely pathetic in this series again. We had as many points as he had tonight, and we didn't even show up to Crypto.com Arena tonight. So he was awful. If D'Lo steps up, Lakers in 5. Bruce Smith, Bruce, I can't see the Lakers beating the Warriors in San Francisco in game 5. I just can't see it. I can't see the champs going out like that. I can't.
I mean, they're definitely gonna respond with a sense of urgency, but if AD gets going, to me, AD is gonna have to be that guy. He's gonna have to be him.
Yeah,
AD is gonna have to attack the basket.
yeah,
He's gonna basically have to have his way inside
he is. Agreed.
and get a lot of touches. I feel if he's aggressive early and if he sets the tone for this Lakers team, they will be tough to beat.
Yeah,
They will be tough to beat in game 5.
I think Steph is going to have the type of performance that he had in Game 7 against the Sacramento Kings. Like I think he's going to take that type of performance tonight. He had 31, but he didn't really shoot well from 3. He shot like 3 of 13 from 3, I believe. So he did a great job on his 2-point shot attempts, but not great on his 3-point shot attempts. And usually that's in reverse. We know he shoots well from the perimeter. That's another thing that was shocking to me, Jonathan. If you'd have told me coming into the game that Steph would shoot 3 of 13 from 3-point range, I would have said you don't know basketball. Like Steph is going to have a much, much better performance than that. But he didn't shoot well from 3. I thought in the clutch tonight, I thought that there were two possessions where the Warriors had terrible, terrible possessions. On one of the
Yeah.
possessions with under 3 minutes left, they had one possession with Clay shoots a deep 3, Jonathan. I mean, it was deep. And I know the Splash Brothers, they are known for being able to hit deep perimeter shots. But Clay has been awful tonight. That was a terrible shot. I would have been more happy if Steph would have taken that shot, not Clay. But that was on one possession. On another possession, I think Draymond had got an offensive rebound, and he had Dennis Schroeder on him down on the low block when he got the rebound, and he passes the ball back out to Steph, and I was screaming at the TV like, Draymond, shoot, because he had a significant size advantage over Dennis Schroeder. And then Steph launches a deep three again. I don't know if you remember that exact play I'm talking about, but Anthony Davis was on the perimeter that time trying to D up Steph, and Steph just launches a three, misses the 3-point shot, and then on the last possession of the game to pretty much just seal the deal for the Lakers and to seal the win for the Lakers. It's a jump ball. Steph actually secures the basketball, Jonathan. He secures the ball, and for whatever reason, he's trying to, I don't know if he was trying to pass the ball but he just loses the basketball. Ball goes out of bounds. There's your ball game. Game over. Like, I just thought in the final 3 minutes, the Warriors completely unraveled. And that's very, very uncharacteristic of the Golden State Warriors and the defending champs, but they unraveled tonight.
They didn't look like themselves in that fourth quarter, particularly in that final quarter when they are usually a team that turns it on in the final quarter, right, with their play, because they have clutch performers and they have guys that can knock down big shots. And we just unfortunately, if you're a Warriors fan, you just didn't see that tonight from the Golden State Warriors. They just didn't have their best stuff out there. Isabel chimes in and says rigged. What are your thoughts about that? What are your thoughts about that?
I don't really want to get into the whole conspiracy theory stuff.
Yeah, go Heat.
I don't want to take nothing away from the Lakers. Again, I am not in a position tonight to say anything negative about the Lakers. The Lakers, look, they have been the better.
I'm gonna say it like this. Here's what went wrong for the Warriors, and let's just be real right here. I'm gonna break it down to everybody. Here's what went wrong with the Warriors. I think most of us can come to an agreement after I finish. They only scored 17 points in the fourth quarter. They blew a 7-point lead during their most consequential 12-minute stretch of the season.
Yeah.
And it was actually Klay Thompson and Curry who blew it for them. If you want to point the finger at somebody. If you want to point the finger, those are the two guys that you look at.
More so Klay than Steph.
Closing minutes.
It was more so Klay than Steph, though, Jonathan. Klay just was awful tonight. I mean,
Thompson, he took 2 extremely difficult threes in the final 2 minutes.
He did.
That both clanked off the rim. Yeah. And then with 20 seconds left, Curry opted against attacking Anthony Davis in isolation on the drive and took a step back 30 feet or so and missed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But he makes
I mean, you can make any excuse you want to make. You could say it was their tired legs. You could say that the shots just weren't falling, that it was an off night. I mean, you could find any convenient excuse.
You know what, Jonathan? I think they were as stunned as we were. I know I was completely stunned watching it. Jonathan, I kid you not. I fell off my chair 4 times because I was thinking, like, how is Lonnie Walker doing this? I didn't see this coming. I think he caught the Warriors by surprise. Seriously. Like I cannot believe that it wasn't LeBron. It wasn't AD. It wasn't D'Lo. It wasn't Austin Reeves. It was Lonnie Walker. And you're right, though. Darwin Ham's adjustment, bringing in Lonnie Walker and benching D'Angelo Russell might have been the biggest adjustment so far in these NBA playoffs. I'm trying, like, because in the NBA playoffs, not only do we talk about players who get exposed, we always talk about head coaches who get exposed as well. And Laker Nation, Jonathan, they have been at Darvin Ham's head. They've been at his neck, man. I be on Twitter and they be killing Darvin Ham a lot on Twitter. But right now, tonight, you got to give Darvin Ham a lot of credit bringing in Lonnie Walker and him having the impact that he had in Game 4, dropping those critical 15 points. That was the difference in the game, and Darvin Ham deserves a lot of credit. He outcoached Steve Kerr tonight. I cannot believe I'm saying that, but Darvin Ham outcoached Steve Kerr tonight, and the Lakers are one win away from the Western Conference Finals, and the Warriors are on the brink of elimination.
You know what? And you could probably say Curry and Thompson were a little gassed and exhausted because they did play the entire fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You know, and I believe that Curry played 42 minutes, and I think Thompson played about 41 minutes on the night, respectively.
Yeah.
Respectively. You know, so I mean, you could point the finger at a number of people. Like I said earlier, you could point the finger at a slumping Jordan Poole. You know, he was scoreless in 10 minutes.
He was pathetic.
Unacceptable. That is unacceptable play.
You're
going to have to play a lot better than that. Look, if you look, you would be stupid and foolish not to take the cash that was left on the table for you. Yeah. But when you're making that much money to play professional basketball, you got to step up. You got to be a catalyst for the offense because we all know that you're a defensive liability.
Yeah. He couldn't throw the ball in the ocean, Jonathan. He couldn't throw the ball in the ocean. I mean, he was that bad tonight. Him and Klay, but Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole, man, and I love Klay because Klay is one of the greatest shooters in NBA history. Klay will be a Hall of Famer when his career is all said and done. He's won multiple championships in his career, but he should have to pay for a flight back to San Francisco. Like, they shouldn't allow him or Jordan Poole back on the flight back to the Bay, man. That's how bad it was tonight. It was bad, man. I'm watching.
It was horrendous. It was horrendous.
They were horrendous, and I love Klay Thompson. Klay has cachet. He has leverage because we know how great Klay is. But Jordan Poole, he's been awful. He's been awful, and he was the reason why they lost tonight. And so now the Warriors are in very, very unfamiliar territory because they're used to being the team that's up 3-1 and with a chance to close out on their home floor. Instead, this time, they're on the ropes. And if you would have told me coming into the playoffs, this was like literally 2 weeks ago. If you would have told me that the Lakers would have the Warriors on the brink of elimination going into a Game 5, I would have told you, like, there's no way in hell that's going to happen. Like, I would have said, like, I will. That's why I said watching that fourth quarter, Jonathan, I was stunned, man. Like, I just knew the Warriors were going to win this game. I just knew I kept saying, like, the Warriors ain't losing this game. They don't lose.
I felt the same way, buddy. I remember I said last night, I predicted
you did
that the Warriors would tie the series.
And I thought going into the fourth quarter, they were up 7. They were up 7. I said, "Oh, the Warriors."
They fell a little flat.
They midway. Did. They really did. Like,
they fell a little flat midway, and they just couldn't rediscover themselves, and they couldn't get into a rhythm.
They couldn't, man.
They couldn't get into a rhythm, and the Lakers were able to take advantage. There was some disadvantages for the Warriors, and the Lakers were able to take advantage. And the Lakers looked more energized on both sides of the ball late down the stretch as well. So, I mean, there was a lot of things that worked for the Lakers more than it did for the Warriors. Dylan has left a comment. He says, craziest part about the Lakers getting the dub, they went completely away from AD in the second half.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
They did.
Agreed.
They did, but that just shows you how much depth this team has.
Yeah, I agree.
And the weapons that they have. And tonight you saw Lonnie Walker. He weaponized the offense.
He did. He did. And Jonathan, I got to say something real quick before we move on to Knicks Heat. I got to say this about LeBron. Man, for a long time, Jonathan, I was one of those people that, like, I was always more of a Kobe fan than a LeBron fan. I even more I always thought that Michael Jordan was a better player than LeBron ever was. And so I used to argue for years with witnesses. You know, witnesses are LeBron fans, obviously. I used to argue with LeBron fans for years about, different basketball, topics and different things. And when you compare players, you talk about championships, you talk about stats, accolades, accomplishments, so many different things. And so I always said that Jordan and Kobe were better players than LeBron ever was. And I'm at a point now, Jonathan, to where if LeBron James or someone who's a LeBron fan, I should say, if someone who's a LeBron James fan says that LeBron is better than Kobe, God rest his soul, or better than Michael Jordan, I'm no longer arguing. It's no longer an argument. It used to be an argument. I used to argue LeBron fans day and night about how Jordan and Kobe were better than LeBron. If a LeBron fan now wants to claim LeBron as being the greatest of all time, you don't get no argument from me because this man is 38 years of age and is on the brink, Jonathan, on the brink of getting to a Western Conference Finals and possibly putting himself in a position to win his fifth NBA championship at age 38. We are really, really in unprecedented territory when it comes to LeBron, Jonathan. We really got to appreciate this man while he's still playing. This is unreal what we're seeing, but LeBron James has solidified himself as a top 2, top 3 greatest player of all time for me. And if you want to say he's the GOAT, I have no issue with it whatsoever.
Look, his greatness resonates with us, right? Particularly with this younger generation and what he has done and what he has accomplished and what he has done on and off the court. LeBron is definitely the GOAT of this generation. Now, I'm not going to say that he's the GOAT of the NBA. To me, that's just absurd to say such a thing. Yes, he has, he has risen.
I don't know anymore, Jonathan. I don't know.
He has climbed the mountaintop. He has put himself in conversation for a spot on the NBA's Mount Rushmore or whatever you call that mountain. And he has achieved the extraordinary. He has the individual accolades and all that good stuff, right? Am I ready to say that LeBron's in the top 3? I don't know because there's a lot of names that come before him. But he's definitely on the list of top 10 players. And that's no hate or no disrespect to LeBron. We glorify him. There's a lot of people that don't glorify him. There's a lot of people that hate on LeBron. Like the hate to me is unreal. But with me, when it comes to LeBron, it's a hate and it's a love and hate relationship that I have with LeBron James. It's a love and hate relationship that I have with LeBron James. I appreciate him as a player, and I have done nothing but express my appreciation and gratitude for his game and what he has achieved in the NBA. It's incredible that this man is still playing at a high level at age 38. That's unheard of. That's unheard of. That really is, right? I mean,
I agree.
How often do you hear that a player plays at such a high level, a player of his caliber, still playing at a high level at age 38? I mean, he's an ageless wonder, and part of that is because of how he conditions his body, I guess he has committed to a good diet. Um, he stays game ready. He's always in good shape.
Yeah.
And we never really have to question his durability or his athleticism because it's still there. But I mean, he won't be a Laker long enough to earn the same credit or respect as a Kobe Bryant or Shaquille O'Neal or as a Magic Johnson or as a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, no, agree 1,000%. He won't. He won't. Yeah, he's not. He's not. We're going to remember LeBron for being a Cleveland Cavalier. Okay, let's just make no mistake about it.
Uh-huh.
He's
or
not
even a Miami Heat because he spent a significant amount of time there too.
Even with Miami, I agree. But like I don't look at LeBron as being a top 3 Los Angeles Laker of all time. I look at Kobe being one of those 3. I look at Magic for sure being one of those 3, and more than likely I'll either go with Kareem or Shaq, give or take. We can debate that all day long between Kareem or Shaq, but think about this, Jonathan. I'm not sure how old you are, but I'm 32. This man came into the NBA in 03. 37. Okay, so he came into the NBA. I'm 32, so when he came to the NBA in 03, I was 13 years old. So I'm assuming you were 18. This man has been playing at a high level. He's been playing at a high level since he came into the NBA. Think about that for a second. Like us in this generation, who are, because I'm a 90s baby. I was born in 1990. Sounds like you were born in what, like 85 or something like that?
I was born in 1985.
Okay, so if you are
the Sports Judge was made in 1985.
Okay, so if you are a late 80s or early 90s baby, you have grown up with LeBron James. We have literally grown. Think about that. We have grown up with LeBron James. We have become fathers, mothers. We have gotten into our careers. Whether you want to be a doctor, whether you want to be a nurse, whether you want to be a teacher, whether you want to be a judge, whatever, police officer, whatever the hell it is, LeBron James, what he is doing, we are in uncharted territory. We have to appreciate this man. And I want to be clear. I'm not saying LeBron James is the GOAT. I'm saying that if a LeBron fan wants to say that LeBron James is the greatest player of all time, I'm not arguing with them anymore. I used to argue and say he's not better than Jordan. He's not better than Kobe. He's not better than Kareem. It's not an argument for me anymore. I'm okay with someone saying that LeBron is the GOAT. I'm okay with it because LeBron is doing things that we didn't see Kobe do, that we didn't see Michael Jordan do or Magic Johnson do. And that's play at a high level at the age of 38.
Yeah, so, the longevity, like I said, is unmatched. The longevity is unmatched.
Yeah. And he got all the records, though, Jonathan, as well. He got all the records. He's broken up. Statistically, LeBron James is the greatest of all time from a statistical standpoint. So, again, I'm not saying he's the GOAT. I still would take Michael Jordan over LeBron. Kobe and LeBron is a toss-up for me because I remember how great the Black Mamba was. God rest his soul. I remember how great Kobe Bryant was. I always felt like we didn't give Kobe enough credit for those championships that he won post Shaq. But LeBron.
And Kobe only won one regular season MVP award.
They robbed Kobe of one MVP though. They robbed him 1 year of MVP. I don't know if you remember.
The year Steve Nash won.
They robbed him, John. They completely robbed Kobe.
It was the year Steve Nash won, right?
Absolutely, yes. They robbed him. They robbed him, and the reason why they robbed him, Jonathan, I'm gonna say it. I don't know if anybody else feel this way. I'm gonna say it. This is our platform, so I can say what I want. They robbed him because he was dealing with that rape case. Let's be honest. That's why they robbed him with that MVP. That's a part. And I'm not saying that we know Kobe was wrong, but that's the reason why they didn't want to give him the MVP because of that rape case, to be honest. But Kobe was the best player in the league at that time. He was. Steve
Yeah,
Nash was never the Steve Nash was never the best player in the NBA. Never.
that year he was breathing life into his teammates, man. He was doing it all.
He was doing it
Kobe
all.
was a special player. He was special. Dude was special.
Special. But I don't want to overshadow LeBron talking about Kobe because God rest Kobe, so we know how great Kobe was. This night is about LeBron, and at age 38, he is one win away from the Western Conference Finals. And here we wow, it's just wow. I'm just man, can't say enough about LeBron.
Yep. So, hey, before we talk about the Miami Heat and the New York Knicks, what was your backstory to this game? Because the backstory for me was Anthony Davis having 23 points for the Lakers, with 19 coming in the first half. So I do think he kind of set the tone for the Lakers. They didn't need him to score 30 points. They just needed him to set the tone and get off to a fast start, in which he did. And then he had 15 rebounds, 3 steals of his own. Then you have Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
Austin Reeves, he played well down the stretch as well. He put up 21 points and 4 assists on 3 of 6 from 3-point range. So he was solid as well. That's my backstory.
I would say my backstory is I'll give you two. Number one, the fact that Lakers the Warriors outshot the Lakers tonight. The Warriors hit 12 threes. The Lakers only hit 6. So the Warriors were plus 18 in 3-point shots made. Also, the Warriors were plus 6 in points in the paint, 6 going to Lakers, and also have more points in the paint than the Lakers. I would have told you we have a 2-2 series heading back to San Francisco for Game 5. And the Warriors still lost that game. Another one I would say is Klay Thompson. 9 points, shot 3 of 11 from the floor. I feel like that was the biggest reason why the Warriors lost this game. Obviously, we know Jordan Poole was a complete no-show. So that's my backstory to this game. The fact that the Lakers were able to still win this game despite the Warriors shooting better from 3 than the Lakers and the Warriors outscoring the Lakers in the paint, and the fact that Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole struggled the way that they did. Those were the two things I would say and point to as my backstories of this game.
Yeah. Dylan says Bron is getting a ring this year. Mark it down, seal it, ship it. What's your take on that?
I think it's possible. Because now you look at in the West, we got the Suns and the Nuggets. They got Game 5 tomorrow night in Denver at the Pepsi Center. We don't know the outcome of that game because the Suns could steal one of these games in Denver, and I honestly I picked the Suns going into that series, but I think the Lakers will match up well with the Suns because the Suns don't have much depth. I know Shamet had a great Game 4 performance, but they definitely will be able to contain Devin Booker and Kevin Durant to some degree. Devin Booker has been on a tear so far in these playoffs, but in the East, I still think the Celtics are going to beat the Sixers, and we're going to have a repeat Eastern Conference Finals matchup from last year, Jonathan. And so in the finals, it's either going to be Heat or Celtics versus the Lakers. I think the Lakers could definitely beat the Miami Heat, considering the Miami Heat have injuries to Tyler Hero and Victor Oladipo. But I think they would struggle with the Celtics. But the way that the Celtics play in late game situations, Lakers could definitely even beat the Celtics as well. So it's a possibility that the Lakers could win the championship this year. And oh my God, I can't believe it. I would. Whew,
I
Man.
can't believe either. Considering the state that this team was in at one point, I'm in stunned disbelief that the Lakers are even here. Because this was a team that was trying its hardest at one time to keep its head above water and managed to do so. And look where they are.
Yeah, for sure.
Look where they
For
are.
sure.
And a lot of us counted them out.
So I know I counted them out, but just so you know, I will tell you this:
the same way Dylan feels about Jordan Poole is the way I felt about the Lakers.
I got the Warriors winning Game 5. Do you think the Lakers close out the Warriors in 5 in Golden State?
Now I do. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now I do. If they won tonight, I would say this would have been a 7-game series, but I don't see it now.
I don't think it's going to be a 7-game series either, but I do think it's going to be a 6-game series. And I think we're going to be back in LA for Game 6. And I think that will be Friday night.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We'll see. We're moving on. Any final thoughts?
Nah, I'm just completely just stunned.
A lot of us are. Not the delusional Laker fans that believed all year.
Right.
You know, the ones that think everything has to be rainbows and flowers. Not those people.
Yeah. But let's talk about the Eastern Conference. I know you want to get into the Knicks Heat, right?
Oh, definitely. We gotta touch on that series. I think it's looking at this series now. I just have a feeling that the Knicks are done.
Yeah.
To me, the Knicks are done. The Heat are clearly the favorites to win this series. I just don't see the Knicks bouncing back from this. So tonight, the Miami Heat defeated the New York Knicks 109-101 in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals, taking a 3-1 series lead. Jimmy Butler posted a team-high 27 points. That's not surprising to me because Jimmy Butler continues to build his postseason legend, right?
Yeah.
This is a guy who never flinches under pressure. This is a guy who throws his best jabs, his best punches in the postseason. He gets into a fist fight and he wins most of the time. He goes absolutely bananas. Like Dylan said, crazy.
Yeah.
He's a totally different player than what we see during the regular season. You're like, you look at Jimmy Butler during the regular season, and you're like, where the hell is he?
Yeah.
What? This is not the Jimmy Butler we know. Why isn't he scoring points? You know, you look at him during the regular season, you're like, oh my God, this is Jimmy Butler?
Yeah.
And then when the playoffs come, he flips the switch and he becomes this superstar. He certainly goes from being an afterthought?
Yeah.
To being a vital piece to his team.
Yeah.
He scores at will. He imposes his will on the opposing team with his ability to score. He's tough. Not to mention that he's battered and hobbled.
Agreed.
He's not 100% healthy, and he's still finding a way to score and get it done. Like Dylan says, buckets getting slept on. Dylan, this is not the first time that people have slept on Jimmy Butler. They always fall asleep on this guy. They always take a nap during times that he goes off.
Yeah.
You know, he is ready. He is in playoff mode. He is a different animal, like I always say. And the Knicks, while they have been a feel-good story all year, while their story has been a beautiful one all year, because we know Jalen Brunson has been that guy. We all know how good he is. I didn't think he was this good, but he is. He scored a game high 32 points to go with 11 assists and 4 rebounds. But as we all know, he's not the only dog in this fight. He needs help. He needs other guys around him to step up.
Yeah.
And they're not, the Knicks are not getting that. The Knicks are in trouble. They're in hot water right now. They're not. There's no point of recovery for this Knicks team. This Knicks team is not recovering from this. They're not going to bounce back. They're not going to turn it around. They're not coming back from a 3-1 deficit. They're done. The Knicks season is done. And part of the reason why is because of Julius Randle. I've been saying this. Julius Randle is part of the problem. You see this guy and his body language. Just look at his body language. Yeah. Guys holding his head, dropping his head, lowering his head on the court. Doesn't have that winning attitude. You know, he's running up the court. Well, he's not even really running up the court. He's taking his sweet ass time to get up and down the court. You know, yeah. You're either in or you're not. And he hasn't been engaged. He looks disengaged. He looks like he's not there. You know, and the Knicks are not even playing their best defense at all. They're not playing. They're not playing good defense at all. It's like, what happened?
Agreed.
You know,
Agreed.
And you look at the Miami Heat. The defense has stymied the Knicks. Would you agree?
Yes.
That the Heat, they have played better defense. And their defense has stymied the Knicks.
I agree.
The Heat has absolutely stonewalled.
Agreed.
The New York Knicks. And the New York Knicks are out there looking shell-shocked.
They are.
And when you look at Julius Randle, he's frustrated as hell. And it shows. It shows through his body language and his facial expression. This Knicks team is done. I'm sorry, it's been a nice season. It's been a great run, but your run comes to an end now.
Yeah, Jonathan, when you talk about the Miami Heat, I got to be honest, similar to how I viewed the Lakers coming into the playoffs, in the Western Conference, the biggest surprise so far of the playoffs, obviously, is the Lakers for me. In the Eastern Conference, the biggest surprise has been the Miami Heat. All season long, the Miami Heat were inconsistent. They weren't able to hit perimeter shots. Jimmy Butler was in and out of the lineup. And they got to the play-in game, Jonathan. They lost to Trae Young and the Miami Heat. And then with 3 minutes left in the final play-in matchup, they were losing to DeMar DeRozan and the Chicago Bulls. And Jimmy Butler completely took over that game, willed them to a win in the play-in. So they got Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round. And so, obviously, the Milwaukee Bucks had the best record in the NBA, best record in the Eastern Conference, had Giannis a top 5 player in the NBA. And game 1, Giannis goes down with the back injury, but they lose Tyler Hero in game 1 as well. And so I'm thinking that, okay, well, Giannis will be back in game 2 and all will be fine for the Milwaukee Bucks. But Giannis doesn't play in games 2 or 3. And then the Heat, they win game 1. They get blown out in game 2 by the Bucks. And then Giannis doesn't play in game 3 in Miami. Miami wins game 3 in Miami. That's the game where Victor Oladipo got injured. And then they won game 4. Remember game 4 against the Bucks. The Bucks had a double-digit lead going into the fourth quarter of that game, and Jimmy Butler went berserk. He went crazy in that game 4 against the Milwaukee Bucks. I think that's the game where he had 56 points. And they followed that up. They go back to Milwaukee. So it's 3-1. And I'm thinking this series is not over. I was expecting the Milwaukee Bucks to win game 5. They had a double-digit lead going into the fourth quarter of game 5. And the Miami Heat came back yet again, Jonathan. They came back again. And I think in game 5 of the opening round, Jimmy Butler had 42 against the Bucks. They won that game. So they get to the Eastern Conference semifinals. And I picked the Heat going into this series. I picked them in 7, though. I didn't pick them in 5. And the way that they have played in this series against the New York Knicks, it's been impressive. I can't say enough about the job and the caliber of player that Jimmy Butler is. Bam Adebayo did an outstanding job tonight. I think he had like 23 points. So he did a great job scoring the basketball tonight. Eric Spoelstra is the best coach in the NBA. It is no longer a debate about who's the best coach in the NBA. With all due respect to Ty Lue, and Steve Kerr, I believe the best coach in the NBA currently is Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley. The way that he is running this Miami Heat organization and having players like Gabe Vincent and Max Strus and Caleb Martin step up, who are role players. These are role players that we're talking about, Jonathan. And he has these players elevate their games and they maximize their potential. And as much as I'm surprised about the Lakers in the West, I'm that much more surprised about the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference. And they are on the brink again for another Eastern Conference Finals appearance. So they're one win away from the Eastern Conference Finals, and they've done a great job so far in the playoffs.
Yeah, you talked about Eric Spoelstra, and I mean, I like him. He's an X's and O's guy, right? And he's had an incredible journey to get to where he is now. He started off in the film room. He was an assistant head coach. He's been around basketball for much of his life. He's worked with some great names. But he's come a long way. He was a video guy. He was a scout at one time in his career. Then he became an assistant coach. And then he became a head coach. And you talk about culture. You talk about leadership. You talk about, a style of coaching. And Eric Spoelstra has all that. He has all the elements of an NBA head coach. And I think he's one of the well-respected head coaches in the league. And he has done a good job. And a lot of these players on this Heat roster are undrafted, by the way. That's what makes this story even more fascinating in a sense, because you got a lot of undrafted players who have stepped into their roles and have done a pretty good job. But Julius Randle's lack of poise is hurting the Knicks in the playoffs. It's hurting the Knicks in the playoffs. And, when it comes to your season being on the line in heated playoff series and high-stake games, you need one of your best players to step up. And Julius Randle is not doing that. It takes emotion and passion to lead to better play. You have to be able to control your emotions. You have to be able to to step up and be that missing piece of the puzzle for your team. And I think with Randall being one of the weakest links on this team right now, I think that's what has held the Knicks back. You know, the Knicks have taken a step back because of his poor play. You know, his shooting has been poor. Uh, you know, he's been struggling to score, and it hasn't really gotten any better. And what this does, it mirrors Randall's struggles in high stake games. Um, and this has been the story on him for quite some time, right? And
Yeah,
so I think
yeah,
his
it really has.
struggles, right? I think his struggles have left the Knicks within danger of falling in this series, and it is showing. And I mean, this dreaded playoff series is not really doing much for the Knicks. I mean, when you look at Julius Randle, and I know I'm placing a lot of blame on him, but he's doing a disservice. He's doing a disservice to this Knicks team.
Yeah, but the Knicks have been outplayed by the Miami Heat. They've been outcoached. They've been outplayed, and that's the reason why they've been struggling these last couple games. I had the Knicks winning tonight. I thought they were going to take care of business in Game 4, tie this series up, get it back to New York for a pivotal Game 5 at Madison Square Garden, but they weren't able to do it. I thought Bam Adebayo was sensational tonight. He was hitting mid-range shots. He was able to score the basketball off the pick and roll action. He even got down in the paint a few times, had some layups. So I thought his activity defensively also was really helped the Miami Heat as well. But overall, I just think that the Knicks, they had a great season. They overachieved this year. For the Knicks to be able to win a playoff series, it's something that they should be excited about heading into next season. Jalen Brunson was a tremendous free agent signing. If you can get more consistency from Julius Randle, I think that the Knicks will be fine and they'll be okay going into the next year. But overall, when it's all said and done, the Knicks overachieved this year. They really did, and Knicks fans definitely have something to be excited for next year because the Knicks have a promising future, Jonathan.
I agree with Dylan. Randall needs to be a number two option. Barron and Bronson 8 a 1. Bronson looks like a one with the way everyone else is playing. I'm just saying. With the way everyone else is playing on this team and how pathetic the Knicks have looked in these playoffs, Bronson is number one. He led all scorers in that game.
Brunson's not a number one, Jonathan. He's playing. He has
He's playing. He's
no
playing
choice
like
but
a
to.
number one. So to me, he's a
He's
number
playing
one
like
right
a number
now.
one. He's the number one because of their makeup or their team, but he's really not a number one. A number one is a Giannis, a Kevin Durant,
Gotcha.
a
Fair,
Steph
fair,
Curry.
fair assessment. Fair
Yeah,
statement.
those are
Yeah,
number. Yeah,
yeah.
but he's playing well. But I think that the Knicks need another piece. They need another piece for sure.
And see, the thing with the Miami Heat too, the Heat are just built for the playoffs. They're just built for the playoffs. It's as simple as that. But man, any final thoughts before we get out of here? I know it's getting late over in Cincinnati. I know it's 2:10 in the morning. It's 11:10 at night here on the West Coast.
I would say final thoughts is I got a question for you before we get out of here.
Okay.
Do you think the Knicks win Game 5 in New York and get this series back to Miami, or do you think that Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat put the Knicks out of their misery back in New York at Madison Square Garden?
The last game is always hard to get. So This is a different series than the Laker one. I think because I have a feeling that AD is gonna have a great performance on the road in Golden State. So that's why I picked the Lakers. And I just don't think there's anyone that can stop AD on that
Yeah,
Warriors team. I just
yeah.
don't think there's in terms of defense and um, in terms of the defense and everything, I just don't think there's anyone on that roster that can really match his size or really have an advantage to slow down AD. So that's why I got the Lakers winning the next game. But with the Heat is different. I feel like the Knicks are going back home. Uh, they're playing in front of their home crowd. It's going to be loud in the Garden. Um, I feel the Knicks will force a game six, send it back to Miami, and Miami will close it out in 6 games.
See, I think I got the opposite. I think the Warriors they show that championship DNA and they win game 5 back in San Francisco. I think Steph Curry goes crazy. I think the Lakers are looking at game 6 as being the closeout game. Like if you LeBron and the Lakers, I honestly, and I said this even in the Memphis series, I would seriously consider not even playing AD because I want AD ready for game 6. I just don't think the Lakers are gonna beat the Warriors in game 5 in Golden State. I just don't see it happening. I think the Warriors blow out the Lakers in game 5 and get this series back to LA for pivotal game 6. On the other hand, in the other series, I disagree with you on that one as well. I think the Heat definitely have a chance to beat the Knicks in New York at MSG. I think it's going to take a great performance from Jimmy Butler, and I think Jimmy Butler is more than capable of being able to put the Knicks out. He did it against Giannis and the Bucks were a better basketball team than the Knicks were. So I think Jimmy Butler, he lives for these type of moments, Jonathan. He wants to put the Knicks out of their misery at home in front of Spike Lee and that Knicks crowd at Madison Square Garden. I think he's going to get it done. I'm expecting the Miami Heat to punch their ticket to their second consecutive Eastern Conference Finals berth. So I got the Heat beating the Knicks in Game 5 in New York come Wednesday night. And Spike Lee and those Knicks fans, they'll be going home disappointed. So I think the Heat will take care of business in Game 5 against the Knicks, but I expect the Warriors to win Game 5 back at the Chase Center in the Bay, and we'll have a Game 6 in that Warriors Lakers playoff series.
Okay, okay, I see you. I see you. I see you, my brother. Hey, it's all great predictions. I think it's a solid prediction. I think it could go either way, quite honestly. And we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out. But man, we've reached the end of our show. We've reached the final stretch. It's been another wonderful show. Actually, I think this show had a lot of views. So before we get out of here, we have to take the time to thank our viewers. And I'm delighted that we were joined by a lot of people, that we had a lot of people that actually tuned in tonight. That's awesome stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Speaking with Judgment, hosted by me and my special guest, Trey. Trey, it's always a pleasure, my man, to have you on the show. Tell everyone out there where they can find you before we get out of here.
You can find me at Wise Guys _H on Facebook, Wise Guys, IG, These Guys Know Sports. And tomorrow, let's come back on tomorrow night, Jonathan. Let's talk some Sixers Celtics and some Suns Nuggets. Got 2 pivotal game 5s tomorrow night on NBA on TNT. So I'm excited for those matchups tomorrow night. Celtics not losing tomorrow. I'm guaranteeing it. Celtics are winning game 5 tomorrow night at TD Garden.
Sounds good. Sounds good. It look like I'm gonna be having 2 shows tomorrow because Another Trey is going to be coming on with me as well. You might know him. Trey Collis from San Antonio, Texas.
Okay. Yeah, I might know him.
Yeah, he's gonna be on with me tomorrow, but he's gonna be on with me around 6 p.m. So a little early.
Okay. Well, we come on late. So
6 p.m. my time. Yeah, we'll do another show after as well. We'll come on late for sure. That'll be a lot of fun. We'll do more analysis and we'll give our thoughts and our takes on these NBA games because I mean it's been some great series. And you know, we always do what we do over here. We talk sports, but guys, it's been a pleasure. Let's get out of here now. It's late. I know it's late for most of you guys, particularly those of you on the East Coast. It's getting late here on the West Coast, and it is past my bedtime, so I'm ready to check out. And I'll see y'all in the morning. Peace, everyone. You take care. For Trey and myself, you guys have a wonderful night. Peace.